What's going on, guys? For 5 Reasons Sports, this is Kai Chen Chisholm. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the Miami Dolphins' upcoming game against the New York Jets. Now, one of the things that really sticks out to me, and I think a lot of other people, is that wow, were we wrong about that 49ers game. I know that there were a lot of people that thought that the Dolphins had a chance to win, and even I talked to the host of the Fourth and Goal podcast, well, at least one of them, Javier Vega, last week for my own podcast. And he mentioned and pretty much laid out the game plan for how the Dolphins just needed to beat the 49ers. He was completely right. I was going to do a whole thing on myself, clowning myself as well as some other people. I was going to clown myself along with some other people just because, wow, we were wrong, right? We were all wrong for those of us that predicted the 49ers to win. I truthfully didn't think that the game was going to be close. You know, I thought Ryan Fitzpatrick, after a really bad game, wasn't going to step up the way he did, even against some subpar cornerback play, you know, because the 49ers are dealing with so much issues and so many injuries. But I was wrong, and so a lot of other people were as well. But with that, we look at the upcoming game against the New York Jets. Of course, this game was, I believe, in Week 11, but it got moved up to Week 6 just due to the fact that the Miami Dolphins are going to have to, well, it was like the Broncos, a bunch of other teams. There's a lot of COVID-19 related issues, but the Dolphins got that game moved up. So now they'll face the Jets at home. They were supposed to face the Broncos in Mile High Stadium. A 4:05 kickoff. A 4:05 kickoff for the Dolphins up against the Jets. It'll be the, if I'm not mistaken, the only televised game for CBS at that time. So in that time slot, the Miami Dolphins versus the New York Jets would essentially be primetime football. Unfortunately, for the rest of the world, we're sorry. It's the best way I think that we can really say it, and the best way that all of us can even think about it. But okay, so what are we looking at? You know, yes, not a lot of us, and I'm sure there were people that did, but not a lot of us, like myself, thought that the Dolphins were going to beat the 49ers. And it was strictly off of just the fact that these are the defending NFC Championship winners, and they were in the Super Bowl, probably should have won it. Some throws, some calls just didn't go their way. Of course, Kansas City wins the Super Bowl, and they got Lev Bell today, so whoop-de-freaking-do, right? But, you know, I thought, okay, there's no chance. There's just not going to be a chance that they win this game. And they did, and they blew out the 49ers. So when you think about that, and you look at that, you know, you destroy the 49ers. What's the one thing, Dolphins fans, that we all know? You know, I'll give you a second to put it in the comments if you want to put it down there, because I think you all know what I'm about to say. We lose to bad teams, and we beat teams that nobody expected. That is the Miami Dolphins, and it's just year after year after year. It is the first of, I believe, the 22 or 23 games that Brian Flores is going to be favored. He's a 9.5-point favorite. It was 8 on Monday. So he was an 8-point favorite on Monday. That one coming from FanDuel. Now it's a 9.5 favorite. So essentially almost a 2-score, you know, favorite for the Dolphins to beat the Jets. And look, I have it at 35-10. I was wrong last week. I'll take it. I will take everything from that. But there is no way that you can sit here and tell me that the Miami Dolphins should lose against the New York Jets on Sunday. They should absolutely just hammer them down. Now, there are some things that the Jets have sort of done right. You know, Jamison Crowder's been playing well in the games that he played. 3 games, 356, I think, and he's averaging like 11.5 or 11.7 yards per game. So he's been at least a threat. But Sam Darnold is out, and in the games that he showed a little bit of flashes, he's out with a shoulder injury. Mekhi Becton might be out. He did not practice on Wednesday or Thursday, which leaves the Dolphins in a position where, okay, this team, the Jets are starting Joe Flacco. If the Dolphins do not beat the Jets with Joe Flacco, that's going to be a problem. But it's hard. It's hard to pick some of the things that they've been doing. I guess Jamison Crowder is really the only thing. They haven't been able to run the football. When they had Le'Veon Bell in the games that he did play, he wasn't running well. LaMichael P. Ryan hasn't been running well, the rookie out of Florida. He had an outstanding last year at Florida. He hasn't been having great production. You haven't really seen it out of Frank Gore either. Kalen Ballage, we know what Kalen Ballage is. Okay, so now it's down to, you know, what are the Miami Dolphins going to do in terms of expectations? They're expected to beat the Jets and expected to, again, absolutely destroy them. This shouldn't be a game that the Jets are even in. The Dolphins should just, from the start, as they did last week against the 49ers, from the very get-go, you should be absolutely just destroying them. You should not give them a single chance to be in the game, and they should blow them out. The Dolphins had a lot of positives last week. The passing game was very good. Ryan Fitzpatrick looked good. He was making throws that myself and a lot of others thought that he could no longer make. So check that box off for the Dolphins. The offensive line, Austin Jackson goes down. No worries. Robert Hunt played very well. Him and Solomon Kelly next to each other was really good. You saw some stuff out of Kyle Van Noy. Andrew Van Ginkel has been flashing with the increased snaps that he's gotten. And then, of course, Zach Sealer is the one guy that everyone's been talking about. He had the most snaps at defensive tackle last week. Devon Godchaux being injured gives him that opportunity to continue to try to be that main guy, to continue to try to be the workhorse in terms of that defensive tackle position. He flashed a lot towards the end of last season. At the beginning of this year, in the snaps that he did have, he was playing very well, and we saw the impact that he can make. Even against a depleted 49ers offensive line, he still had an impact. He still made some plays, and that's what you want to see. You know, Christian Wilkins has continued to have a very quiet but very good, quietly good year. Like, not like, oh, he's playing bad, but he's having a very good year, and not a lot of people are really mentioning it a lot. Remember, Shaq Lawson was out, and he was starting to gel well. Emmanuel Ogbah has been playing great football. And then, of course, Byron Jones. I mean, the Dolphins' list of goods and pros and all that stuff is extremely high. If there was one thing I really, really had to continue to touch on, is that the rush defense just still isn't great. You know, last week it wasn't bad against the 49ers. Of course, you had Raheem Mostert at about like 50%, I would say, but he still played a very, you know, he had some yards and he wasn't great, but he wasn't, you know, bad at all. And it was still just not good. There were little bursts, little 9-yard gains here and there, or little huge gains that the Dolphins were still giving up. So that's not really good to see. But the offense and the defense are both gelling well together. And of course, the brand, Jason Sanders, is continuing to have a great season. So we love to see that. It's a lot of positives. We're still very positive now. The team is just playing a lot better. And coming into this Jets games, you have to be the Jets. You just absolutely have to be the Jets. Then you have a bye week. So it sets you up perfectly for good 3-3 first game that, you know, Brian Flores is coaching, where they are the favorites and overwhelming favorites. And again, these are games that Dolphins fans always know we lose. We tend to always lose these games. So this has to be a game where if you're the Miami Dolphins and you're Brian Flores, you can't let it get to the team's head. You have to win this game. You have to improve to 3-3 going into the bye week, getting ready for that next game. You cannot, absolutely cannot, especially against the Rams. You want to come into the bye week very happy. The Rams, they've been quietly very good, which is good for Sean McVay, good for the Los Angeles Rams. Big ups to them, happy for them, right? But if you're the Dolphins, you need to be able to get this win, go into the bye week with a chance up against the Rams to possibly go 4-3 and kind of include yourself into the playoff position, which, look, I'll be honest, I still don't think it's a huge reality, but the Dolphins' schedule is a lot softer right now in that middle than it was at the beginning in the first quarter of the season. And on top of that, it's continuing to get softer because of injuries, teams just not, you know, showing what they should have shown. And I think what a lot of people saw on Tuesday Night Football is that the Bills have weaknesses. They should have lost to the Rams. That game was taken away from the Rams. The Dolphins threw away their game. So the Bills really should have 2 to 3 losses on their schedule. It is only the one against the Titans, who just absolutely flat out dominated them. But their schedule is getting, you know, a lot easier. So if the play from the offense and the defense continues to be as good as it was against the 49ers, or at least a little bit less good, but, you know, in that range of where we're going to continue to put up points, our defense is going to be able to make some stops, then it's possible. But we need to see it 2 weeks in a row, and you absolutely need to see it against the Jets. An Adam Gase upset and moving to 2-4 going into the bye week instead of 3-3 raises a lot of questions, and it's not good for the team or, of course, fans, because you don't want to see that. So you want to see the team just demolish the Jets. That's what should happen. I'm more than confident, honestly, in that happening. So we will see you guys on Sunday for the pregame and then also the postgame. Make sure you check out some of the videos that I put down below. Also, make sure to follow me on Twitter. That will also be down below in the description, again, with the 2 videos that I'm going to link. We will see you guys again on Sunday for the pregame, for the postgame, and hopefully we're able to be very joyous going into the bye week rather than talking about things that happened that were bad for the Dolphins, and we can improve to 3-3, be at 500 for the first time in Brian Flores' career, and we can continue to go, continue to move, and continue to be happy. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and we will see you guys then.